Jamie Hince and Alison Mosshart are the Anglo-American indie rock duo The Kills. Their third album from earlier this year is called Midnight Boom, the title taken from a description in a Jack Kerouac poem that Hince felt described the time they worked on the album together in Benton Harbor, Michigan. Alison expands on what Midnight Boom means.
Well, that's where it came from originally, and then it was, but then it kind of was definitely appropriate because we did do this whole record in the middle of the night. So
you would start at like at 1 or something, or
10, 11.
Yeah, it kind of
after we woke up.
It was just a gradual push, It sort of started waking up at a reasonable, normal hour, like midday, and then gradually later and later. And then when we sort of really got into the swing of things, we found we were waking up at 7 p.m. and then starting work at midnight. And it was just, we were getting more done, and it seemed like we were on this hypnosis thing where you just, I don't know, it's just a really good time to create things, I think.
Yeah.
Now, there was a first try on this that ended up being what we might not expect, kind of a folky acoustic album?
Not really. We wrote about 40 songs for this record. We're just trying to find what we wanted this record to be. And in that process, we wrote all kinds of things,
Yeah.
But no, there wasn't really.
It's like getting ready for something. Sometimes you just have the right outfit on straight away, and then sometimes you go through 1,000 and you look terrible, and then the whole house is full of piles of clothes until you find the right outfit. And that was the studio.
Sometimes you go back to the first one.
Fascinating dinner time metaphor there that I should be using in the future.
One thing that is kind of the two things that happen on this album, they should be in opposition. One of them is it's somewhat less minimal than you've been in the past, and yet the beats are heavier and sharper. And congratulations, that's an accomplishment.
Well, it's weird. I think guitar-wise, I think it's kind of more minimal. I didn't play that much guitar because I spent much more time programming drums and working on. That's one thing we hadn't done really before was drum beats and melodies, so we thought we'd explore them this time. So that was that.
And can you tip the hat to Alex Ebden? Does that have something to do with what this sounds like?
Yeah, I mean, the whole process for us took a year and a half. Like we said, we wrote 38 or 40 songs in a year and a half, and we conceived it all and recorded it, and then Alex came in for the last 2 or 3 weeks after a year and a half of it. So he wasn't really part of the conception of it, but he did something. I don't know what he's like a real genius with editing and things like that. And it was interesting. The first time we'd ever had anyone else in the studio, even just for those 3 weeks at the end, it was tough. It brought a different kind of thing to it,
Yeah.
Having someone like, I get into a right psychotic kind of control freak state. I'm not very good to be around the studio.
Well, who's more of a control freak of the two of you?
He is. I'm the one just trying to calm him down, make everything better.
Yeah.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I don't control freak. I don't know about that, but
no, it's not control freak. It's just panic attack kid.
Yeah, more like fascist dictator. You should be a fascist in art and like a libertarian everywhere else.
We're going to hear some of the tunes from Midnight Boom, and what do you want to start off with?
So what you reckon?
It was Last Day of Magic, please.
Okay.
Last Day of Magic, that is there's a Kill song for you, As Long As It Needs to Be. And I love that. I mean,
I like that.
It's seriously, you guys know when to hit it, as I guess here's a cliche end of when to quit. That's like great. You know, I want to explore a little bit of the Anglo-American aspect of this, and I'm curious. I guess we'll start with you, Alison. Were there elements of British culture that you were far more into and really appreciated differently than Jamie did when you first met?
I don't know. I mean, I think growing up now, music and art and everything's so transcontinental. You know what's going on. You sort of stop associating things as being British and as being American, especially that everyone's moving around all the time. And
now, though, yes.
Yeah, but I mean, I kind of feel like, because I was always in bands and always in part of a music scene, that it felt a lot like that anyway. So no, not really. I don't really know.
But there are things about American culture, I know, beat culture, for instance, I know you're very much interested in.
Yeah, and I think all that's a sort of cultural leveler, really. All that, literature and music. We like Alison said, we grew up with both of those things, and in a way, I'm much more influenced by American literature, I think. Sort of Kerouac, Hubert Selby Jr. and that those are some. That's my favourite literature, really. That kind of rambling stream of consciousness, phonetic.
It's interesting when I started listening to this new album I put on. You Were a Fever, and there's kind of a drum part in there that kind of reminds me of the drum corps that are a big thing in African American communities. The way the snare drum was.
Yeah, I love that.
It's just a wonderful in-your-face sound. And but then I read more about how it was kind of children's games that affected this in a way.
Yeah, so there's always a few things floating around that you can't really make sense of. I sort of started gravitating towards this marching drum thing. I saw a drum line in the street in New York, and it was absolutely phenomenal. I was just like, I had shivers watching it. So all these things, I guess, started coming into my blood, and then I saw this Pizza Daddy-O documentary about kids in inner schools. It was like made in '67 or something like that, and it was just following them, analysing their songs in the playground, and it seemed quite a sort of Kills thing, like a sort of very simple backbeat, like hand clapping, and then really twisted lyrics about alcoholism and domestic violence and stuff. And I don't know, it was like nursery rhymes, really. It's kind of where blues originated. So.
Is
that available, Pizza Daddy-O? Is it easy to see?
Yeah,
it's part of a film. What's the whole thing called?
It's called Folk Streams. It's like there's lots of sort of Americana movies and what do you call it? Like primitive folk movies, really.
Well, so much great rock and roll relies on that kind of primitive thing. So I can totally see why that would be attractive. In some way. The Kills are our guests, and we're hearing tunes from Midnight Boom. And what's next?
Sour Cherry.
Well,
this is one of the more obvious playground-inspired songs. It's a modern nursery rhyme.
Cherry on your fruit stand.
Howard Gary as the Kills are playing live for us on the cafe today. I should report, as the eyes of our audience, that there, when you guys play, there's a lot of communication between the two of you, which is what you see live. Also, first time I saw you guys was at South by, and I guess in the last album, and I think there was some kind of technical thing. And Alison, you were like a caged lion. You prowled the stage, and it was really. I think you do that a lot. Do you not?
But yeah.
Yeah.
I like to pace.
How much of the theater of performing together are you guys aware of or into, or is there? I'm just curious.
The theatre.